And we got a question here to start us off again from Scurfy Pirate Hog. After the events of issue 50, what if, instead of perishing, something else happened to Starline? What if he got banished? Banished to the Sonic Boom universe, because now the only villains willing to work with him are the Lightning Bolt Society. How would Starline adjust to his new life in the Boom dimension? Would he even try to become buddies with Boom Eggman?
See, I think at that point, he'd just want the sweet release of death, because you just prescribed him to hell.
I think we've kind of done this before, but yes, that is effectively...
Well, we've touched upon Starline and Boom Eggman and how he just wouldn't tolerate the buffoonery and would try to take over. But the wrinkle here is the Thunderbolt Society.
That's true. Yeah, he would be... They're
which
utter
are a
incompetence.
Down. Yeah. I mean, they've got the drive, which might enamor them at first, but after that, it would just be worse. Because why are you a tree? We can see your face. You don't even look like a tree. Get out of the tree. So, nah, he'd go cuckoo bananas.
Maybe he could make them competent, or maybe that's impossible. I don't know.
I imagine he could get them to coordinate briefly, but you can only do so much with broken parts.
Yeah, I guess it would be like herding cats. It's not easy. Not easy to do.
I imagine
not worth doing.
He would finally reach his breaking point, and because he has the initiative and the wherewithal to act on it, he would take over. He would just do it again. He'd boot Eggman out of his base. He'd actually send the Badniks in coordinated strikes. The heroes and villains would have to come together because, oh, wait, we actually have to do something to survive. They would have to stage an actual siege of the egg base. Starline would get knocked out a window into that active volcano and would wake up and, where is he now? You there! You look like you want a promotion!
Yes. Oh no, things just went from bad to worse.
We're slipping back into Dr. Starline's internal hell isekai.
Yeah, I know. It's just the thing. Yeah.
But it's such a good premise.
It is. It well and truly is. It's unfortunate you'll never be able to do it, and officially at least.
Nah.
But, oh well, it's fun to think about.
Here's one from Chaos Sonic 1. Starline gets isekai'd to the world of Pokemon and then works for Giovanni. Then after that failure, he gets isekai'd to the multiverse of Kingdom Hearts under Xehanort. How do these go? And will Starline crack working under how complicated Xehanort's plans are?
Well, I mean, if first thing he does when he sees Giovanni, he's probably going to be caught. Like, what is that Pokemon? I mean, he's used to talking Meowth. He'd be used to a talking 6-foot platypus. Not 6 foot. They're only like 3 meters. Not 3 meters. Yes, 3 meters.
3 meters.
1 meter.
3 meters.
Feet, 1 meter.
3 meters. That would make him like 9 feet tall. I think. I could be
sorry. Numbers were never my strong suit. So yeah, okay. Tall talking duck man. He would assume Pokemon try to catch it, and whether or not Sonic characters can be caught in Pokeballs is a whole other question. But generally speaking, I mean, this depends on which interpretation of Giovanni we're going off of. But he was a fairly straightforward crime boss. Like, sure, he had his eccentricities, but Team Rocket was a pretty well-oiled machine. And, they're uniformed, they're overt without being self-destructive in most cases. They have a snappy catchphrase. Starline would be right at home with them. He would love it. He would be very sad when Truck-kun isekai'd him into the next universe.
He's a very shiny Psyduck.
I'm not as familiar with the Kingdom Hearts universe, though, so I don't quite know how well he would interact with Xehanort or which incarnation of Xehanort we're talking about here. But I would get a kick out of seeing a Kingdom Hearts styled Starline.
Yeah, bigger feet than usual, huh?
And I don't mean like cheap out and give him just a cloak and call him, he's part of the Council of 13 or whatever. No, actually give him like a Kingdom Heartsy look with the, what do they call it? The recusant sigil, big old X on him somewhere. That could be fun.
Yes. Good old
Gosh,
stuff.
Donald, you look real funny today.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Goofy.
Duck noises, says Starline.
Goofy, you're actually going to die. For real this time. Not just the made up, like, Goofy totally dies this time. No, he's going to die for real. Careful, Goofy. Careful. With Dr. Starline currently on his unlucky isekai journeys, how would his inevitably finite time in Moebius go down when he arrives and sees Dr. Kintobor?
I can fix him.
Well, I mean, that's what he thought about Eggman Prime, too.
Yeah, but at least with Prime Eggman, it's like he aspires to be like him. He just sees minor faults. Kintobor, the antithesis of everything that makes a Robotnik a Robotnik.
He's all wrong. He's all wrong.
He's just trying to make him mad about something. Can you please just hate something out of principle, please, just for me? Raisins. What about raisins? At least you hate raisins, right? Well, no, they're actually a rather nice snack. Ah!
Well, does he hate Scourge?
Not ultimately, no. He's sad about him. He has so much potential.
Okay, well, I guess
and yeah, it's a problem that he's such a problem, but
yeah,
ultimately it's just tragic.
Yeah, I guess that's
that
one
thudding noise is Starline beating his head against the wall.
Uh-huh. I mean, I'd beat my head against the wall.
What do you mean all his arsenal is non-lethal?
But Eggman doesn't kill anybody, according to Sega.
No. It ain't for lack of trying.
Unless you're talking about Boom Eggman.
Well, that's a whole different isekai.
Yes, we've already talked about that one. Scurvy Pirate Hog has a question. Starline's isekai journey continues as it this time falls into the no zone and falls into the office of Warden Zobotnik. How does Starline feel about this incarnation of the Doctor, and how does Starline last in the no zone?
Well, at first he's aghast that the good Doctor would be the head of any kind of justice system or correctional institute. It's the very antithesis of what he's supposed to do. And then he kind of realizes that, no.
It's not, actually.
The warden makes sure that everyone, marches to his tune. Everyone is highly monitored and greatly restricted. He has the single word of law in this locked down environment. It's like, oh no, this is exactly what I wanted, just a different flavor. Maybe I can work with this. What do you mean I have a criminal record of attempted homicide? No, don't lock me up! And then he's locked up.
Oh no! And then he gets into a fight with somebody, and then he's killed. And then he's off to his next isekai adventure.
Yep.
Oh, well. Here's a question from Saving Throws. On his isekai journey, Dr. Starline ends up in the Twisted Metal universe. Ah, yeah. What would the unfortunate platypus wish for? And how would Calypso twist the words of his wish?
What? I feel bad for this, but I mean, come on, you tee it up. I have to take a swing. Starline fights bitterly to win, and he goes before Calypso and says, I want to make things right. Send me back. Send me back before I was crushed so I can try to make things right again. And Calypso goes, okay. And Starline appears exactly 30 seconds before that rock falls.
I was going to say.
Oh, right. I'm back.
Yep. Literally right at the moment it happens. Same thing. That's exactly what
I should move.
That's exactly what Calypso does too.
Time I got.
Yeah.
And the isekai adventure continues.
He tries to go back. He can't even get back there. Oh man, I'm just want to imagine Starlight in Twisted Metal. God, that would be hilarious. Oh man, he would hate it, and it would be amazing. Oh, so many people crazier than him. Crazy again. Oy. Oh, good stuff. All right, here's one from Scurvy Pirate Hog. Starline is isekai'd into the world of Fleetway Sonic before Dr. Ovi Kintobor becomes Robotnik. How does he react? Oh no, is he the one who triggers it? Is he the one who makes it happen?
He sees this tall, gentle, well-meaning man who wants to just rid the world of evil and says to himself, I can fix him. And yeah, he totally sabotages the treadmill so that there's the inverse power flow to create that bad egg.
Yep. That's it.
Unfortunately, he's caught in the explosion at Isekai.
So he's never there to get to actually see the true Robotnik finally exist. Oh well, he will be safe in the knowledge that at least that universe has a proper Eggman now. All right, here's one from James the Redneck. Continuing the isekai adventures of Dr. Starline, our homicidal cinnamon roll finds himself in the world of Five Nights at Freddy's. Would he be able to survive the nights, or will he become another victim of the vengeful children's soul-possessed animatronics? Also, would he find it intriguing that they are bound to the animatronics?
I think he would manage to survive at least one night. He would rant and rave about the lack of infrastructure here. How is he supposed to manage all these cameras and doors with a single power source? Honestly. But he also knows his way around homicidal robots. So he would be able to turn things to his advantage. And I imagine it would either end one of two ways. One of which he manages to make it through the night and he's so proud that he, managed to defeat all 4 animatronics. There's 5. There's what? Or he does manage to survive the entire night. He does get advantage of all 5 animatronics, and goodness, he's figured out how they run on souls. He's going to be running this place by the end of the week. Yeah, but what about the Purple Man? The what?
Uh-oh. Well, it happens. Here's a question from Pan Dolce. Let's continue with Starline's isekai adventures. Man, that guy just cannot catch a break. He's going on 2 isekai adventures in one episode.
Every Saturday at 8.
If there are multiple universes with infinite possibilities, what would be Starline's reaction if he landed on a universe where everything went like he wanted and he became Dr. Eggman's co-emperor? How is that universe, and how would he feel seeing his dream come true?
He would be very hesitant at first, waiting for the shoe to drop. There's got to be something wrong. It's always wrong. But in this universe, Eggman listens to his input and actually debates back. And they don't agree on everything, but they do find a compromise. And together they rain terror and destruction upon the world. They win. They start moving across the solar system. They start galactic conquest. Everything is theme parked, which is weird, but he can see the aesthetic of it. And you know what? It's kind of fun to do that instead of just everything being functional. Maybe he was a little wrong, and maybe he did go a little off the rails. Maybe he was a little prideful. It's okay. It's good to have this chance to revise and see where he went wrong. And now he's right where he belongs, right beside Dr. Eggman as they win everything. And that's when Eggman pulls the vile but inevitable betrayal, because there's nothing left to conquer. The only thing there that's worthy of conquest is the only other person vying for power. Bye, Starline.
What about the Starline who is already there? Or does he just take the place of that Starline or something weird?
Yeah, Quantum Leap-esque.
Okay. If there is a Starline, if there is a Starline in that world, he becomes said Starline.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay. Fun. It would be funnier, though, if there were some other Starline, and that Starline is the one who offs our hero? Quote unquote. the hero of our isekai adventures? I mean...
So what you're saying is, you travel from dimension to dimension, and upon death you reawaken in a new scenario? Yes, exactly. Happy trails. Bang.
Exactly. Exactly.
I should have seen that coming.
Oh, he said too much. He said too much. Here's a question from Levi C. Dr. Starline wakes up after his last isekai trip in this weird place full of villains in a swamp. It's the last season of Justice League Unlimited. Lex just took over from Grodd, and Starline decides to join the Legion of Doom. How badly does it go?
Oh, this one writes itself.
Oh, boy.
I mean, here he is in these hallowed halls full of colorful characters with incredible skills and the desire to use them to get to their own ends. He's at home. This is exactly what he wants. All these like-minded individuals. It's great. It's just... Okay, so there's one caveat. They all seem to be a little, fixated on their own personal vendettas. If they could all just kind of come together on a singular goal, then that might be a little more effective. Like think globally, not just a support group. You could do so much more. This Lex character, he's able to run the circus, but he doesn't have quite the vision that Starline has. And besides, he's just human. What, that tech can't be that advanced. It'd be quite simple to, just cozy on out to Lex. He's gotten along with bald people before, and he'll seize power, and the Legion of Doom will be his. And Lex is like, sir, I usurped a gorilla with psychic powers. You are nothing to me. Bizarro, give our new friend a big hug. And thus, Starline is isekai'd off to his next adventure.
That didn't take long.
Bizarro, no, I'm going to show you so much hate. Oh, Bizarro fix his spine. Hello, Dr. Mooncurve.
Oh, boy. A big hug. Oh, Starline gets put in his place yet again. Every time. It's inevitable. When we last left off on Starline's Isekai from Hell and My Mini, he somehow died in the care of Dr. Kintobor. Not from Kintobor's trying, mind you. And now on his hellish Isekai, he's somehow gone all the way from time and space to end up arriving in the presence of Dr. Eggman Nega, pre-being stuck in the Ifrit dimension. How does Starline take in this Eggman as the son of his idol? And how long does it take before he's sent back to the Isekai Void to then be placed into another deathly misadventure? I'm so glad this is Starline's fate now. He's not dead. He's just going on increasingly insane adventures across the multiverse.
I feel like he would and Nega would get along great initially because they are both lamenting the state of the Eggman name and the historical significance of it. And how, if they just change this one thing, if they could only get Ivo to see the light, how much greater it could be. And so they begin plotting and planning as they do, except Starline, has his own ideas of what is right and how to fix things. And there's only so much of him criticizing the Eggman line that Nega is going to tolerate. Like, Nega doesn't like it either, but it's his line to criticize, not some poofy shirt upstart. So eventually Starline says something that irks him one too many times, and, well, Nega Isekai Starline, and the adventure begins anew.
Quackdom leap. Here's a question from Blue Cube. Are you too familiar with the amazing world of Gumball? I recently watched a series and have grown to love it, so I wanted to contribute to the running list of worlds in Starline's Isekai adventures. How would the Doctor react and interact with the wacky world of Elmore?
I'm passingly familiar. I haven't watched nearly as much as I want to. The sheer creativity of that show is intimidating.
I have never seen it.
It's magical. Just the amount of different mediums intermixed and the way that nothing is sacred in that show in the best possible way. The comedic timing is brilliant, start to finish. It's almost too intense sometimes, but darn it, it does it with such gusto and confidence. It's amazing. To that end, I feel like at first Starline would be completely out of his element in that world because, things are pretty crazy in Sonic's world, but that's what he's used to. Talking tinfoil or CG Tyrannosaurs or anything else, he would be very aware how out of his element he was. And I think that would be his primary driving force at first, is just finding some sense of normality within that world. And Gumball and Darwin would do their best to help their new friend acclimate, which would lead to all sorts of delightful chicanery and maiming, delightful maiming. And Starline would eventually realize that, okay, this world has its own rules, such as they are. It functions in a certain way. He can learn this system. He can make it work for him. And you know what? They're all just a bunch of civilians. He's smarter than all of them. He can find a way to turn this around. Yes, he will bend this world to his whims. And then some non sequitur would come out of nowhere and just atomize him and return him to the path of the Isekai. And it would be hilariously timed. I'm painting in broad strokes because I cannot match Gumball, especially not off the top of my head, but I can see it working. And oh my goodness, it would be hilarious.
Starline's adventures continue, and they will never end. Good for him. I'm glad he gets to live on in every other universe.
Maybe their dad just runs him over by accident. Something completely banal. Oh, sorry, kids. Did I hit your friend?
Yep. He's just gone. Get started with this one here from Z Broadcast. Starline is isekai'd into Sonic X, except Eggman chose to stay as El Gran Gordo. How does their inevitable match go, and what are Chris's thoughts? Inevitable team match. There we go.
No. I can see. Well, you know what? It works both ways.
Yeah.
We're assuming that Starline has isekai'd enough at this point that he's like, all right, kind of got to go with the flow here.
Yeah, pretty much.
Gran Gordo. Well, there's the spectacle, and there is the impressive physical prowess. There's things to love here. All right, tag in. What's Spanish for line?
Are you asking me for real, or are you? Is this Starline?
Hold on, going to commit word crimes here.
Okay, that's fine. What else is new? Depending on who you ask, you do that every month. I mean,
all right, so you got El Gran Gordo and Linea Estelar.
Yeah.
And he puts on the mask. He gets all the sequency wardrobe. You know, he's into it. He can't quite perform quite El Gran Gordo's level, but yeah, he tries. He's kind of a hype man. He'll take the hit so that EGG can get in and do the finishing move. And he's fine with this. He runs with it. All right. He's found his place, except they could do something with the act. They could spice it up a little bit. They could add some stakes and this whole heel turn, face turn thing. No. You got to be a heel. You're Eggman deep down. You can't just be a baby face the entire time. You know what? He's going to challenge El Gran Gordo to a match to prove he's right about how this is going to go. And then one flying Gordito smasher later, and he's reliving moments with that rock and isekai on to the next trail.
And what are Chris's thoughts, apparently? We need to know, apparently.
Chris isn't fond of this new guy. He doesn't have the spirit. Sure, he puts on the act. He's got the costume, but it's clear that he's just going through the motions. He's a jabroni. He's not sad to see him go.
He's annoying. He's all style, no prowess.
Exactly.
Here's a question from Scurvy Pirate Dog. Starline's Isekai adventures continue. Wow, that was quick. Now he's ended up in Preboot Archie during the Iron Dominion arc when Eggman was crazy. How does it go?
It takes him a minute to get the lay of the land, and he is not happy with this at all. Eggman's number one underling outright betrayed him. The goal, absolutely not. He didn't betray Eggman. He just kind of worked outside their normal cooperative parameters. It was ultimately for Eggman's good, okay? Shut up. And now you have this pretender, this Iron Queen ruling things. No. Will not do at all. So, if anything, he'd throw his lot in with the Freedom Fighters and help them win the day just to free Eggman.
Yeah. Curse you, Snively. Curse you. Starline Isekai time. For this one to pre-reformed Doofenshmirtz Evil Incorporated. How does that go? Starline Isekai time. For this one to pre-reformed Doofenshmirtz Evil Incorporated. How does that go?
This is a Phineas and Ferb thing, right?
I is it?
Because what's his name?
Doofenshmirtz? That's what it says.
Doofenshmirtz. Because he's like the mad scientist that fights Fairy the Platypus, and that's somehow connected to Phineas and Ferb.
Yeah.
We with that sentence, I have exhausted my understanding of that series, I'm sorry to say. So I do not know.
And you have exhausted my knowledge of it by granting me that knowledge, because that's the only knowledge of it I have now. Sorry.
That and the 2 nickels meme. No, dime. 2 dimes. Isn't 2 dimes? Anyway, I'm way out of the loop.
We're old. I'm old, at least. I don't know. Here's one from System 509. What if Starline got isekai to Mario's world and teamed up with Bowser? How would he feel about the brothers and Egad? I feel like we've done this one, but still.
I'm sure we have, because it's, one of the most logical courses to take.
Mm-hmm.
He does, I think it was, how do we go? I think it was something along the lines of that, really liked Bowser's initiative, very assertive and proactive military command, very cool. Immediately take out the head of state and, occupy all the immediate regions. A+ on all that. Doesn't like the magic so much. It's a little wibbly wobbly for him, but as long as there are certain parameters he can work in, he can learn the system, sure. The romantic angle bothers him. It's a distraction. And spreading your forces out like that. No. Just send them all en masse. You know where these guys live. Wait, why are we ending the invasion? To go-karting. Are you serious? You just had the princess and another cat. Okay. Well, once you're done with that frivolity, you're going to go golfing?
Then it's time for a little tennis?
He would find Mario and Luigi unsettlingly familiar.
Mm-hmm.
2 people with incredible athletic abilities fighting for the greater good just because it's the morally right thing to do. Oh, God, it's Sonic all over again.
Oh, no.
Do these things persist across the multiverse? Of course they do, Starline, because everything is possible in the multiverse. We've covered this. Egad, I guess he has a begrudging appreciation for. I mean, being able to directly interface and deal with the paranormal is commendable. But he's kind of a goof. And just why use a vacuum cleaner? Why not just make something that looks nicer? It looks like a vacuum cleaner. Do you have no professional pride? Do you have no aesthetic skill? Just call it something else, for the love of God, egad.
Egad, man.
And he's reviewing a castle, citing how that axe at the end of the bridge really is not the safest place. And boop, it falls into the lava. He goes, and another plush is born.
Yep. Yet another one. All right. Here's a question from Coffee. Dr. Starline gets isekai to the world of Dragon Ball Z Abridged. What hilarity ensues and who accidentally obliterates him?
Well,
or purposefully obliterates him. Who knows?
Once he acclimates to the world and learns the rules of the Dragon Balls and realizes that there's a means of acquiring more, he sneaks his way up to the lookout and starts snooping around looking for the dragon statue. That's when Mr. Popo shows up. Hi. And that's the end of Dr. Starline. many torturous months later.
Oh no. Oh no. Whoever gets that Starline plush, please take extra good care of that one.
Be very gentle with him. He's seen a lot. Here's another one from Z Broadcast. Starline is isekai right here in the podcast. We did 2 episodes of that.
Oh dear, he's right here again. Oh no, it's time for Starline episode number 3.
Just kind of wanders in much more humble. Kyle, do assure me there's nothing lethal in this booth. We're perfectly fine. Safe here even. This is a bunker, right?
Sure. Have a seat.
Starts inspecting it for booby traps.
As you probably should. We're back, and we're starting off with this one from Noni. So is Starline retaining all this information he's getting from different dimensions as he's going on his little isekai trip? And if so, does he attempt to use it in situations he's thrown into?
Whatever is funniest.
I think it's funnier if yes.
Like, maybe he retains just enough for one scene. He's like, wait. I did this in the other one, and it turned out badly. What was it? I shouldn't do. Or he's in the scenario of, I remember this. I won't do it this time. I've beaten the system. And that inevitably leads him to getting isekai'd.
This really is just Groundhog Day.
No, he gets isekai'd back to the point where he started from, and aha! This time he steps to the right and avoids the rock, except he steps on a live cable and off he goes again. And it's been so long that when he loops back around, it's like, wait, there was a live wire there. I won't move. Wait, why did I move to begin with? And off he goes
off to the rock. Oh no.
And the wheel of Ka turns again.
Oh, it's yep, that's him. That's his life. His life after death. Glorious. Normal person, appropriately, has their own Starline isekai adventure. Starline gets sent to our world as a marketable plushie. How would his isekai adventure go, and how many times does he have to be game-ended as a plush before he gets sent to a different world?
You see, our world is the end point. Every time he gets isekai to a certain point, it ends in a plush. Every plush is a marker for his trip through the isekai realms.
So every Starline plush is...
And if that makes you sad because you're a Starline fan, think of it this way. when you buy your Starline plush and you take it home and you take care of him, you are giving him the final happy conclusion to his isekai adventures.
Aww. This one made it through to you. That's so sweet. Up until your dog gets a hold of it again.
Don't worry.
Yeah.
Exactly. You buy a new one, and that one is the one that the dog destroyed. The wheel of Ka has turned again. And in the night, you will hear your little plushy Starline whisper, "Don't let it happen again. Damn
it." Oh boy, here we go into the Starline verse.
I am a trifle concerned this is going to incite a degree of violence against these products, but please don't harm your Starline plush. Treasure it. Keep it safe.
Do we? Do they exist yet? If not, they should.
No, not yet. They've just been previewed at the Toy Fair show.
Oh, okay. Well, they will exist then. Okay, good. Okay, I didn't know they were announced.
I don't think formally. I think it was leaked, but it was leaked by someone on my Sonic team or Sonic team adjacent. So I think it's safe to talk about. It's out there in the wild. People know about it.
You're going to get one, aren't you? At least one.
I couldn't get a Tangle or a Whisper, so I don't know.
Well, you better get on it then. Come on, man.
With a question from Of the Stars. On another episode of Dr. Starline's Isekai Adventures, the Isekai gods have decided, you know what, let's throw Kyle a bone this time. So guys, how would Starline handle the world of Wave Race 64?
How would he handle it, Kyle?
He would be like, yes, finally, a beach vacation. And he would take it, and he would love it. Oh, and it would be this glorious, beautiful, beautiful thing. It would be on the beach. He would just be lounging and just hanging out. And then all of a sudden, here comes the wave racers. And they're just driving. They just keep driving by. They just keep driving around in circles. It's like constant. He's like, finally, he just gets fed up and it's like, basically starts going Donald Duck on the beach at him. Till eventually one of them is like runs him over. Runs right over him, right through him, runs right through him, and boom, he's on to his next adventure. But at least the music was nice. And here's our last question from Fang. Hello, Ian. I recently finished My Hero Academia, so my question is inspired by this series. Starline's Isekai adventures continue, but this time he's in the world of MHA. How would things play out for the good doctor? What arc would he survive until?
I don't think he would last terribly long. Once the announcement of the League of Villains was made, he would be super eager to join in because they sound right up his alley. You know, individuals organizing with extraordinary powers to destroy the status quo. Oh, sign him up. Except then he actually meets Shigaraki and he's like, oh, this kid is just a mess. He has no clear vision. It's quite obviously time for somebody else to step into the role and lead these children to a proper revolution. And that's when Shigaraki gets a hand on him, and the Isekai adventures continue once more, and another plush is born.
Yes. Yes. All right, so that's going to do it.
Shigaraki? We're going to just amicably hand over control? Sure. Shake on it. Absolutely. Oh,
no! Shook him a little too hard. All right, that's going to do it.
For reference, for those who don't know, Shigaraki atomizes anything he closes his hands around.
Convenient.
That's the joke.
Okay. And we got a question from North Salt.
And as Starline's Isekai adventures continue, he ends up in a little town in South Park, Colorado. How does he react to this new setting? Or more importantly, how does he see to the ultimate evil, Eric Cartman?
He's been through a lot. Perhaps it's time to settle down and recharge his batteries in this quiet little mountain town. And the people are strange but unassuming, and they just kind of accept that he's there because various religious and mythological creatures visit on a fairly frequent basis, including talking holiday feces. Okay, sure, whatever. It's calm here. It's quiet here. It's fine. Except for that one child who is very loud and obnoxious and quite opinionated. And, he's going to just deal with this. Oh, God, he's evil. Like, true evil. Not even the fun kind of evil. Just like evil. I'd have to watch how he steps around this one. Maybe he needs to start making a plan of attack just in case to protect himself. Maybe he'll consult one of his friends. You there, the one in the parka. And that's when the meteor comes down and kills them both. Oh my God, you killed Kenny and Starline, you bastards!
Convenient. I think it's been a while since Kenny's actually died.
Is that an old joke now?
Yes, it is, I believe. I don't think they really killed Kenny. Actually, I don't even know if Kenny's really part of the main cast, is he? He doesn't seem to be. It's more like, I think Butters is kind of like taking over the fourth character thing for the most part. I don't know. That's what it seems like to me, at least, from what I've seen, and that's mainly just the games. But so I haven't watched the show. I haven't really seen it since like the Mysterion versus Cthulhu arc. I don't know how long ago that's been now. Yeah, well, maybe Starline loses to Cthulhu. Here's a question from Exadel. Dr. Starline's Isekai adventures continue. This time, he awakens from his previous transdimensional venture to find himself on an underground rail tram with a loudspeaker welcoming him to the Black Mesa research facility, and security hastily ushering him to get ready as he's late for his day in the test chamber. How does Dr. Starline cope with the following resonance cascade? The invasion of the aliens of Zen, and does he survive long enough to get Isekai to his next destination by the G-Man?
The right platypus in the wrong place can make all the difference in the world.
Oh no.
Here's the thing. With Starline's experience with the warp topaz, he would look at the configuration for the resonance cascade and go, no, if I insert the sample, it's going to overload. Have you not done any of your homework?
Yeah, I was going to say.
No, I'm coming up there and showing you how to do this correctly. And he ends up staving off the invasion. The 7-hour war never happens because he's smarter than everyone else at Black Mesa.
Yeah. Something else has to happen.
Like within an hour, he's running the place and is like, oh, your portal technology is rudimentary. Let me show you how to do it properly. And he's like leading the invasion of Zen. The Combine are like, who is this guy?
He's smarter than Gordon. He's not smarter than Gordon. He just actually speaks. Actually, he won't shut up. That's the problem. Gordon's mute. He doesn't speak. He doesn't say a thing. So the fact that he's smarter doesn't matter if he's not telling them what's wrong.
Now I'm tempted to redub all of Freeman's mind as Starline.
Oh no, that'll take years. Oh no. How does Starline react to Cave Johnson?
Take your lemons and burn your house down with the lemons. Finally, someone I can get behind. You mean he's already dead? No.
We must bring him back. Oh, good stuff. Good stuff. That's funny. That's funny right there. Well, he doesn't die at the end of this one, or does he?
No, he successfully routs the Combine and is about to take it over for himself when the G-Man steps in and says, "Excellent work. Now it's time for your next departure." And just ushers him off into the next Isekai adventure.
Oh, okay.
No, I was successful for once.
Damn you, G-Man. Ah.
I should ask a Starline Isekai question. Those seem to be popular nowadays. Hey. Ian, if Starline was Isekai to Star Wars, what would that be like?
What era are we talking about? Old Republic, New Republic, middle ground?
Let's put him in... Let's say he gets teleported right in front of Thrawn in Rebels as he's looking over his TIE Defender schematics.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Thrawn and Starline in the same room.
All right. Go, Ian.
Quick aside before we get into that.
Okay.
So I read the original Timothy Zahn trilogy, and
yes.
Thrawn stole the show for all 3 books.
Oh yeah, definitely. I remember. I'm mostly into the new canon, but they've been re-releasing a lot of the older stuff on audiobook format, and I listened. That was that's like the one trilogy everyone always tells you about is the Thrawn trilogy, and I was like, I'll see how good this is. Let me figure this out, man. Let me see how truthful you guys are being. I'm like, it was amazing. It was. I loved everything about it. Yeah.
One of the best old extended universe bits of media.
Yeah.
And it's really hilarious seeing how very little it actually crosses over with the video game adaptation. But anyway, so when they were talking about bringing him into Rebels, I'm like, yeah, I have expectations. They're not fair, but I have them.
Were they meant?
And
I need to know.
Absolutely. Like,
okay.
the voice, the presence, the fact that he was using artistic elements still. He introduced the TIE Defender, which is bar none my favorite Star Wars ship. Oh my god, dude.
It has 3 wings.
Slogging through TIE Fighter in the frickin' standard TIE and getting atomized if you bounce off a piece of dust. Puttering around in the little bomber. Please don't shoot at me. I have no defense. Whipping around with the advance. Oh my god, I can't target anything. I'm going too fast. No. TIE Defender. 6 cannons, double ion cannon, double layer shield, hyperdrive. Them X-Wings are going to be picked out of my teeth because I just tearing through them.
Yes, the Defender freaking rules, no doubt. Absolutely.
And I love the design.
Yes.
Love the design.
It's really very nice.
And the Interceptor. I'm a fan of the Interceptor too.
Yeah, it's good too. But
but
it had a really nice...
But the Defender has 3 wings.
Yes, I know.
Yeah.
The Defender's like an Interceptor, but there's 3 wings. That's interesting.
Exactly.
Yeah. There was a really nice sculpt of one years ago that I didn't have the money for at the time. I'll pick it up later, and it's gone forever. And we're good. Anyway, so
they only made 1.
Yeah. So Thrawn, super cool. TIE Defender, freaking love it. Starline. This is me projecting, but I feel like he would totally be on board with Thrawn. Because Thrawn was smart. He was calculating. He had just the tiniest flair for the dramatics, with the whole fixation on art, but it's used in a practical way. Mm-hmm. And, you have all the resources of the Empire. Instead of churning out these, death box TIE wings, you put it into this elegant killing machine that is the TIE Defender. Starline would sign up. He would completely switch fanboy gears over to Thrawn. Where have you been all my life? Put on the uniform, lockstep with him. He would totally be in line with Thrawn. Here's this visionary. Yes, Grand Admiral, where shall we go to next? And he would be super pissed that he got punked by space whales.
And then how does he get turned into the plush?
Goodness. Maybe he tries to
does a stray space whale just ram into him?
No. He tries to carry on Thrawn's legacy, but he cannot fill those boots. He takes on one fight that's just too much for him, and we move on to the next Isekai adventure, but he goes out swinging.
I was just imagining Starline like trying to look at artwork and trying to do the same thing Thrawn does, and he's like, "Oh yes, these lines. This means that their society was linear, I guess."
It's complex in its simplicity, yet simple in its complexity, and therefore, I don't know what I'm talking about. How did he do this?
Of the Stars has a question. On another episode of Starline's Isekai Adventures, Starline finds himself in the world of Fullmetal Alchemist. Ian, I just need you to find an excuse to have him use a Philosopher's Stone. Tricore / Warp Topaz style.
Ooh. All right, well, he has to kind of keep undercover because at best he might be mistaken for a chimera. He can't really walk around the humans too easily. But once he gets his bearings, he greatly appreciates the concept of equivalent exchange. He can learn how to do alchemy pretty darn easy. It's just a matter of getting one of those pesky Philosopher's Stones.
Mm-hmm.
So he's already trying to be sneaky. Figure he stumbles upon Father, kind of pleads his case, explains what's going on, says he can be of great value to whatever his grand plan is. And Father knows he's being played, but Father is, the master planner here. So sure, the weird duck thing can get a Philosopher's Stone. And then, boy howdy, that's a problem, because whatever you think, you do. And he's not going to be content with just like big cement hands or large geometric constructs. He's going to be able to like fashion his own homunculi straight out of the ground. He's going to have his own line of imposters of like Ed Allen, the entire bloody cast. Imposter Mustang? Yeesh.
Oof. Frightening.
I know we usually end this with the punchline of how he moves on to his next Isekai adventure, but I honestly don't see how he loses in this scenario. Short of he gets too big for his britches and gets eaten by the truth, but
he would mess up somewhere. His hubris would eventually catch up to him. It always does. That's kind of the point. Here's a question from Excel Hedge. Starline Isekai adventures continue. This time he finds himself in the sooty city of St. Canard. What villainous team up happens? How does he deal with the huge egos of Negaduck and Darkwing? He has three Darkwings now, basically, in terms of ego size, in terms of flamboyance.
What were the villain team? What was the villain team called?
Oh crap!
Was it the Felonious Five?
It might be. I'm forgetting.
Basically,
Fearsome
he would invite
5.
himself. Fearsome 5. Okay, he would invite himself onto that team, and be a little impatient with the quibbling over. Well, they can't be the Fearsome 6. It loses the alliteration. You're not wrong, but I think we're missing the larger picture here. Really motivated by all the various powers and what you can do with them and how easily you could rule St. Canard with an iron fist or leafy fist. Yes, Bushroot, we're not excluding you. But the goofiness and the selfishness of each individual member would really start to grate on him. It's like Eggman's obsession tenfold, even worse. And Negaduck, especially for all of his ferocity, is a loose cannon. And I mean that quite literally. The cannon is loose. It's rolling around shooting at things. Tie it down!
Tighten that thing up!
So, he would absolutely try to usurp power and bring things to order. And the other 5 just don't like taking orders. It was more of a mutually beneficial confederacy. They aren't really going to be ruled by anyone. Yeah, they followed Negaduck, but that's because he scared the crap out of them.
Yeah.
Starline, not so much. So If the chainsaw doesn't get him, the water electrocution plants and oh shit, what was the other one? Oh, I'm forgetting. Quackerjack.
Quackerjack.
Exploding Cupid dial.
Yeah.
Yeah, Starline isn't going to last too long there.
Liquidator is like the forgotten one.
I always remember Liquidator. He cracked me up, and he wasn't a duck.
Yeah, I always forget Liquidator. Like, I don't know why. He doesn't seem like he has that the presence that the other ones do, but I don't know.
Maybe. Smoke grenade goes off. I am the terror that flaps in the night. I am the truck that rearranges your reality. I am Darkwing. Oh, what did you do to him?
Finest Cacophony has a question.
Hello, HumbleKast. I've shaken Rosie's magic 8-ball to determine Starline's next isekai. Ian, what if instead of crushed under rubble, Dr. Flatline was buried under raw Australium, altering his physical might and giving him a gorgeous mustache?
Each little swoop just looks like the swoop of his hair.
Oh, no.
You hear the rumble of the rubble, and then he just erupts, a foot taller than Eggman and twice as broad-shouldered.
Uh-huh. He truly becomes glorious.
Great Scott, I thought you were dead. Yes, well, Doctor, I'm slightly Australian now. Not Australian, Australian.
Australian, yes.
I'll give you a head start and get that mecha over there. And then he just rips the mecha apart barehanded.
Oh, man. Oh.
He conquers the world single-handedly. He's an unstoppable force until he loses track of that last little bit of Australium, to which he's then confronted by the true Golden God, an Australium-empowered supersonic.
Sonic's
and you better believe the mustache is gold and spiky, too.
Sonicston Hale?
When did he put on those tiny shorts?
What about Big as Saxton Hale instead?
I mean, it's kind of neutralizing at that point. Infinite power with infinite power is going to be infinite anyway. There is no limit.
That's true. It's a good point.
Maybe he just gets like a tiny little matching mustache.
It is a funny visual, though.
He sounds slightly more Australian. I'm going into Cockney. I can't do a good Australian accent.
No, me neither. I can't do a good any accent. All right, here's a question from Professor Scruffymet. The next stop on Dr. Starline's Isekai tour is the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Thanks to the spell that Doctor Strange and Spider-Man messed up, Starline finds himself in the same bar in Mexico as Eddie Brock and Venom. How long does this meeting last before Starline meets his predictably gory end?
I don't know. Given Eddie's characterization in those movies, he'd be like, what are you, some kind of duck? And actually start up a conversation.
Yeah.
And Starline would kind of follow along. He's getting up to date on each Marvel Cinematic Universe, and then he learns about the symbiote, and he's like, so you have this parasitic thing that amplifies all your abilities, and all it wants is to eviscerate your enemies? Can I have one? And then it's like, I don't think you want one. And then Venom is like, sure, here's one, and like spits out a little goober. And now you have symbiote-powered Starline, and that's a problem.
That is a big problem. That is not a small problem. That is a big problem.
Like, Starline's symbiote's like, I need brains. And Starline's like, I know where to find some. He has no moral compunctions.
No.
Maximize mobility, the elasticity, the use of this morphogenic suit. And every now and again they take a pit stop to eat somebody's head. Yeah, sure, he's on board.
Delicious. Although Venom might take offense to being called a parasite. But
what do you know? You're a loser. You said so yourself. Eddie, this one is hurting our feelings. Can we eat his brains? I don't know. Do you even eat duck brains? He's not a duck.
Oh, he's kind of like a. For some reason, I see Venom like eventually kind of liking Starline. I don't know why. Like this version of Venom, the movie version of Venom is like a weirdly like not monstrous guy. He's just kind of happy to be there, I guess. It's weird. Venom
He's
in the
kind of
movies
like
is weird.
A big child.
Yes,
Not
kind
even
of
like a man child. He's just a big kid, very simple
Yes.
in his mindset, and just wants companionship and brains.
Yeah, that's really it. He's just kind of like I don't know. It's weird. Yeah. Oh well. I mean, what happens to him to get him turned into a plush? Does he get in a fight with the Hulk?
How we're running into scenarios here where Starline might not have a problem unless he gets a little too distracted with whatever his current mission is, and the symbiote decides, you know what, he has a very big brain, very large, tasty brain.
Yum yum.
Maybe it's time for a new host.
Mm-hmm. Maybe. All right,
But now you got me imagining Starline and Venom zipping through the city. Starline, can we have McDonald's? Once we're done murdering this person, and we have the sample I need to get from the lab. I want a Happy Meal. We can get you a Happy Meal. Do you promise? I promise. Eddie would not get me a Happy Meal. Well, that's why you're with me now, aren't you? Excuse me, Madam Clerk, but my other asked for no pickles.
Yep.
And a car. Under the car.
Oh, this is good. This is good. It's good stuff. All right, let's move on. All right, here's a question from Ursi Bear. Sonic might be faster than the speed of sound. He might be able to outrun a speeding orca, but can he outrun his feelings? In this exciting episode of Starline's Isekai Adventures, how does the Doctor handle being the romantic interest of the fastest thing alive? We've covered this before.
Yeah.
Yes, we have. But we have talked about
so many Isekai adventures.
Well, this wasn't even an Isekai Adventures. This was just like a theoretical if Sonic and Starline had to be in a romantic relationship.
Oh no! That's different. This is pure Starline entering a world in which Sonic is affectionate for him. That's different.
Oh, okay.
Because it's Starline as we know him, and he is just repulsed. Like, no, absolutely not. The only respect he had for Sonic was that he was a worthy challenger to Eggman. But touchy-feely, sharing the same personal space? No. And that is why he kept that symbiote in his pocket.
Aha!
Come here, Sonic. Whisper sweet nothings in my ear, and now your ear will be nothing!
Delicious brain. Sonic brain. Not very filling. Weird, because he's got a giant head, but nope. Not much in there.
Was not very satisfying, Starline. Very crunchy, but all full of air. Like a cheesy poof.
Sonic doesn't have a brain. It explains a lot, honestly. I'm glad Starline... I truly am glad Starline does have an isekai friend, and that it's that it's Venom. I like that it's Venom, you know? As long as it's Venom, it's okay. This is movie Venom, specifically. Shouldn't be comic Venom. Exactly. If it were comic Venom, it would be a nightmare, but since it's movie Venom, it's fine.
Yeah.
Here's a question from Thievius. In the next installment of Starline's Isekai Adventures, he's actually taken back to the events just before his first demise during his mech battle with Eggman. Using all the knowledge he's gained moments before his death and all the other isekais before, what does he do differently in this scenario, and how does it all end in him becoming another plush? We've talked about this before, I think.
We've had him go back right before the rock fell.
Oh, yeah, right.
This is in medias res. This is during the battle. And it does come down to hubris again. Because he would have this moment of epiphany, like, I'm back. I have this moment, and I have all this knowledge. But it's been so many lives. How did this fight go again? And he loses even faster.
How does this thing work?
Yes, and at this point, I dodged to the left. No, I went to the right. No. Panic.
And he's gone again. Off to the next one. And here's the next one right now. This one's from Scurvy Pirate Dog. Starline's Isekai adventures continue. This time he wakes up as Lego Starline. How does it go? Will he help Lego Eggman in taking over Lego HQ? How does he feel about his situation?
I imagine he was part of that entire cross-promotional event. We just didn't see him.
Mm-hmm.
And he's running around in the background and trying to facilitate goofy little Lego Eggman's plans. And then he ends up getting stomped on by the Lego worker that Eggman took over.
But he can always put himself back together. He's Lego, you know. How does he get to the point where he can't really do that? Where he can't really put himself back together?
Now we have the question of at what point do Lego individuals retain their selves?
Mm-hmm.
When they are fully deconstructed, is there still a Lego soul to be had?
Probably.
I don't know, man. I'm not big on my Lego lore.
You probably have to incinerate them or something. Throw them in the fire. Do something that completely just makes them unusable.
See, I was going to give him a quick and funny exit. You're being extra mean.
Well, I'm just being realistic. I'm just being accurate to the Lego.
Realistic about the talking living plastic doll.
I'm being realistic to the Lego living situation, like how Legos live. Like, how do Legos live? I mean, you melt them.
I might have to go back and rewatch the Lego movie to see if they even address that.
Put them on fire. I don't know. All I know is Starline hates Emmett, like with a burning passion. Absolute burning passion. It'd be like a milk toast, Chris Pratt.
Everything is not awesome, especially if you're part of a team.
It's true. Here's a question from MSP Nova. Starline's never-ending Isekai adventures continue to never end, and now he's entered the world of the BumbleKast chat box. How does he handle the chat writing more Isekai scenarios for him? This is getting very meta. I don't know how much deeper we can go on this, Ian. I don't know.
These insufferable Isekai adventures. The only way I can stop it is to distract them. Oh, I know. It's 3 minutes until show. Tappity-tappity-tap. Floor it.
Yeah, that must be it. That must be why everybody's freaking sending all the questions super fast. Thank you, Starline. Prick.
OMG, does anyone else want to roleplay in the chat during the show? Let's make sure to make it graphic.
No!
Who can I send to raid the BumbleKast? I will burn this show to the ground.
Good. At least someone's gonna do it. Let's move on to the next one from Bunny Bell 3. Next on Dr. Starline's Isekai Adventures, what happens when he's just an ordinary platypus living in a zoo? No villains, just a nice swimming area and the excited squeals of zoo patrons.
Assuming that he's retained his awareness in all this. First, he hates it.
I mean, yeah.
To be so powerless, to be confined. He doesn't even have hands anymore. But, eventually he would find peace. This is a fine way to retire. And you know what? He's fed regularly. It's protected. He doesn't really have to worry about how the next Isekai adventure is going to begin. He can finally find peace. And then at a ripe old age of however long platypi live, he finds himself reincarnated as a plush.
And that incarnation of Starline has reached his end. But don't worry, there are many more. This timeline has split off endlessly. But I'm glad that he finally reached, at least one of them finally reached an end. All right, here's one from Sega Comet. The Starline Isekai continues, and now he ends up in Phineas and Ferb, and it teams up with Doofenshmirtz to take over the tri-state area. How does it go?
Again, I'm sorry, I've not seen any Phineas and Ferb.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I know there's a platypus character in that, but
my understanding of Doofenshmirtz is the whole 2 nickels thing, and that's it.
It is kind of weird that it happened twice. Here's one from Mixer17. It's time for whatever the heck the new equivalent of the Sonic Twitter takeovers are going to be. But instead of the familiar faces and a potential 1 or 2 new ones, we instead are treated to Surge Kit and Starline, having performed a hostile takeover. Did Starline survive? Did he get isekai'd into the takeover? Or is he secretly a sock puppet being controlled by an even crazier Surge? Does Kit manage to last through one question where someone asks for his individual thoughts? When Surge inevitably gets cyberbullied by trolls sending her photos of them writing stuff on her giant forehead and asking when she's going to get over herself and what order she's going to kiss Sonic and Amy, will her attempts at cussing them out be censored by beeps, dolphin noises, or her getting smacked by a giant magic newspaper? And do any of them survive Eggman's wrath when he gets his electrically insulated gloved hands around their necks once everyone's free?
You already answered this one pretty much. You've covered all the bases.
It's like, do you want Ian to answer this question? I mean, no, you just answered it yourself.
I mean, pick your favorite scenario and run with it. There you go.
Why not all of them? Yeah. Ian, you didn't have to do any work on this one.
That was an easy one. Still, all the same. Probably about time we took a break.
Yes. Although the Surge forehead thing is really funny. Here's a question from Fang. Starline's Isekai Adventures continues. This time, ending up in Devil Artemis's Perfect Cell Versus videos. What kind of hijinks ensue, and how does the good doctor get turned into a plushie?
Well, going by my limited understanding of the format, Starline would be very confused to be in the square circle. Kermit does the introductions. Cell is not particularly impressed by Starline. Starline is insulted that he is not being, feared and revered, regardless of the circumstances. Rattles off all the incredible abilities and technology that he has at his disposal, and Cell's like, "Oh, so you actually are an opponent," and nukes him on the spot.
Well, that didn't last long.
Well, they're only like 2 minutes.
Good point. All right, we got a question from Reckons. Starline's Isekai Adventures continue in Skies of Arcadia. We'll throw him a bone and says he
See what you did there.
We'll throw him a bone and say he starts in Valua right as the game begins. Is he on Team Galcian or Empress Theodora? Do the Rains of Destruction spell his end, or are giant rocks falling from the sky too on the nose? Ooh. Too soon?
He would start off with Empress Theodora, because she is the clear, head of state, but he would clue in real fast that she's not the real seat of power, that Galcian is the one pulling the strings, and he's just going to, stand a little closer to that one, chat him up, and see what his grand aspirations are. Yes, okay. And Galcian is, a little weirded out by this talking duck man, but he'll work with random Sylvite. Sure, he'll work with this thing. And just to vary it up a bit, I could almost see him taking Del Loco's place as they go into the deep sky. Getting a little too big for his britches, thinking the Chameleon's tech is enough to handle them in the deep down, deep dark. And once the armor starts to implode, we got a new plushie.
Going back a little bit, I just have to add a chuckle at you almost saying ducking talk man.
I mean, he is that too.
Yes. You almost said that. It was like, oh, he didn't go for it. He caught himself. Darn. I'll just have to bring it up.